Autonomous driving is really taking off in the US and around the world, and that means a huge opportunity that could be worth trillions of dollars for investors. Today, I'm going to go over 5 stocks that you may not realize are actually leaders in autonomous driving today. No, I'm not talking about Tesla. Tesla is still testing with a safety driver in the vehicle. I'm talking about companies that are deploying autonomous driving technology and they have a business model that fits the opportunity ahead. So let's start with the company that no one is talking about. That is Mobileye. Mobileye makes the technology that may currently be in your vehicle today. That is their Mobileye Advanced Driver Assist System. One camera, one sensor, and some software that allows you to have smart cruise control. Maybe some lane guidance, fairly simple autonomy features. But they're working with dozens of automakers all around the world and already have tens of millions of units of volume of this system. What they're doing now is testing more advanced system and getting those built into vehicles in the future. So we have things like Mobileye Surround ADAS, more cameras, and a higher level chip. Supervision is going to be the next level up, a little bit like Tesla's FSD today. So 2 Mobileye IQ chips, 360 cameras, and mapping software. More advanced still is going to be where the car can drive itself, that is chauffeur, eyes off, hands off. Still need to have a driver in the vehicle who is capable of taking over, but now you're going to have more chips, more cameras, more sensors with radar or LiDAR. And the most advanced, which is being tested today in Austin, Texas, they're testing in Germany. This is going to be launching in Los Angeles on the Uber platform, is Mobileye Drive. They're working with Volkswagen, have over 100 vehicles in operations today, doing that fully autonomous vehicle testing. 2026, 2027, that's when this business is going to really start to scale. So Mobileye is what we would call a modular supplier in the auto industry. They're not going to make an entire vehicle. They're not going to start a ride-sharing app. They're going to be a critical supplier to potentially dozens of automakers, and that's really where they make their money. That's how they can scale on the development that they've done. I think Mobileye is one of those companies that is going to grow tremendously as autonomous vehicle technology becomes more common, as more automakers say, hey, you know what? We've got to get to level 3, level 4, level 5 autonomous vehicles. How are we going to do that? We can just call up Mobileye and plug them into our development in future vehicles. Mobileye is just an $11.4 billion company today, easily 10x opportunity over the next 10 years if they're able to gain market share in the autonomous driving market. Second stock is WeRide. WeRide is just a $2.5 billion company, but they're a Chinese-based autonomous vehicle technology company. And what they're trying to do is operate the fleet of robotaxis, not necessarily the app that's actually that customers are actually interacting with, but the fleet itself and the technology behind it. You can see in their most recent quarterly report grew revenue 61% to $17.8 million. They're operating in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Shanghai, and Saudi Arabia with aspirations for global expansion over the next few years into more and more countries. As of right now, they're not offering this technology to other automakers. They're trying to develop their own fleet of autonomous vehicles today and use those as robotaxis all around the world. So they could potentially be a supplier to companies like Uber and Lyft. Now, keep in mind, they are a Chinese company, so we don't know as much about their company as you do from typically US traded companies. That is an aspect of risk here. But WeRide is one of the leaders launching all around the world, and it wouldn't be surprising to see their fleets continue to grow exponentially over the next few years. Stock number 3 is Nebius. This is a company that's known today as an AI data center company, but one of their subsidiaries is a former leader in autonomous driving. That's WeRide. WeRide started in 2017. They're located in Massachusetts. They have an autonomous driver that has 10 million miles on public roads, plus a delivery robot, 200,000 deliveries from shops and restaurants to date. So they're a company getting vehicles on the road. Now, more questions about their business model. Are they going to be licensing their technology to other automakers? Are they going to try to be vertically integrated, a little bit like WeRide or Waymo? Lots of questions about that business, but it's upside for Nebius. And as one of the companies with millions of autonomous miles on the road today and the licenses to actually scale this business pretty quickly, WeRide and Nebius is a company to keep an eye on. Number 4 is a company that doesn't actually own any autonomous vehicles itself, but is actually launching more autonomous vehicles through partnerships than any other company. That's Uber. Uber's business model is going to be the top of the funnel. They're going to be the app that customers are interacting with, and then an autonomous vehicle is going to pick them up. But that autonomous vehicle may be a May mobility vehicle. It may be an AV ride vehicle. It could be a Waymo. For Uber, it doesn't matter who the supplier is, as long as there's autonomous supply that's available. And I think with all the players in the industry, Uber is actually going to be the one company that's going to be an almost guaranteed beneficiary of autonomous driving and autonomous vehicles. It seems they announce a new partnership every week, and that's exactly the point. That's exactly what you want to see if you are an Uber shareholder. So the easy play in autonomous driving today is the company without any autonomous vehicles or any vehicles itself. That's Uber. I think they're a clear winner. Another one is Alphabet. It was just estimated that Alphabet's Waymo business is worth about $200 billion. This is the biggest autonomous driving business in the world today, already operating in multiple cities in the US. And as of April, Waymo is doing 250,000 rides per week. That number has likely grown significantly since then. They continue to add more cities where they're testing, and that business will be scaling not only in the cities where they're operating, where they continually add more geofenced areas. I think they'll start to add a dozen cities or more as early as 2026. The challenge for Waymo is reducing the cost of their vehicles. It was previously estimated their vehicles may cost $250,000, but they have scaled up manufacturing to be able to retrofit those vehicles. They even have plans for custom-made vehicles from Zeekr. And as those operations scale, as the cost of sensors comes down, as the cost of manufacturing comes down, it would be surprising if the cost of each of those Waymo's vehicles doesn't come down significantly. Reportedly now under $120,000. Wouldn't be surprised to see that come down another 50% or so over the next few years, putting it on par with other electric vehicle manufacturers like Tesla. What Waymo has that Tesla doesn't is a impeccable safety record, millions of miles driven in the US, all without a safety driver. And as they continue to scale that business, I think this is going to be one of the mainstays in autonomous driving over the next couple of decades. So Alphabet, not a pure play in autonomy, but neither is Nebius. And Alphabet investors eventually may get Waymo shares if they are spun off as their own privately held company. So the 5 autonomous driving stocks that you need to know as an investor today: Mobileye, WeRide, Nebius and AV Ride, Uber, and Alphabet. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comment section below. Your comments make us all smarter. And if you want to know our top 10 stocks to buy right now, check out fool.com/invest. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you here next time.